Hello, 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 and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we are going to be talking about what it's like living with a superbike, and we're going to get into that right now. So, living with a superbike, from the point of view of someone that's actually owned one for best part of 15 years. What is it actually like? How do I get on with it? What do I do to make things enjoyable, and so on? In all fairness, I could end this video really quickly and just say, you know, it's a lot of fun, it's easy. But then again, that'd be a bit of a pointless video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what it's like for me on a daily personal basis owning a 160 bhp superbike. I suppose one of the biggest things about riding a superbike, or I should say, well, riding a sports bike in general, but primarily a superbike, which is what this is. Is it easy to ride in built-up areas? No, it's not. Is it safe to ride in built-up areas? Of course it is. Would I leave the bike somewhere unattended so it could possibly be stolen? Fuck no. Do I have the bike chained and covered up when I'm at work or at home? Of course I do. Would I recommend a superbike to anyone if they're just using it for a commuter? No, I wouldn't. A superbike can be a commuter, but it's not the greatest thing. And obviously there's other things that you take into consideration, like fuel consumption and consumables like tyres, brake pads, chain and sprockets and all that sort of stuff. But on the whole, if you're a bit, you know, savvy and a bit, you know, financially sensible, you could quite easily make a superbike an everyday commuter. You could quite easily go for a short ride to the shops on this. You could quite easily go for a road trip down to Brighton or the south of France or Spain or Portugal, or anywhere in between for that matter, should you want to. I've done trips to Brighton, I've done trips to in and around central London. You know, I've been all over the place on this. But the question still remains, could I use it for everything? No, I couldn't. As much as I'd love to be able to say that this bike can do everything that I want it to do, it can't. You know, it's not comfortable to carry a pillion unless they weigh 5 stone or as skinny as a rake. Short and thin people are perfect pillions. But I digress, that's a video for another day. With regards to, you know, general riding situations, like for example now, I'm in first gear and I'm sitting at about 3,000 up, well, I lie, just under 3,000 RPM, and you know, all the bike wants to do is go. You know, this bike is not very forgiving when it comes to revs and wanting to be able to get somewhere, because just like with any superbike, whether it's got electronics or not, it still has the potential to bite you, and it will bite you hard. It goes back to how you know, conservative you are with your right hand. You could send it at every given opportunity, you know, from 0 to full throttle everywhere, you know, but you don't need to. What I've found over the years with riding a superbike, it's not so much you, it's the situations around you. Now, if you're, like I say, if you're a bit savvy or a bit clever in what you do, you can make a superbike an everyday bike, like an everyday commuter. It won't be brilliant for you in terms of fuel economy, but in terms of road presence, you're definitely noticed. There's no two ways about it. Living with one of these, I'm not gonna lie, it really isn't easy. But I want people to know that if you want to ride a superbike, you can. I'm not going to turn around and say to someone, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. At the end of the day, if you choose to ride a superbike, then you choose to ride a superbike. I can't stop you, I can't make you change your mind. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But in terms of how you can live with one, in my honest opinion, it's very, very easy. You know, granted, you don't need 160 bhp, you don't need 200 bhp for street riding. You don't need any of that. But, you know, at the end of the day, the bikes that are put on the market are there to be bought. Having one of these as an everyday bike, or having one of these as your main form of transportation, it's not going to be brilliant for everyone. And it'd be wrong of me to say that it is. But likewise, if you're comfortable with the seating position, then you'll be comfortable on it. Yes, they can be loud. Yes, they are expensive. Yes, if you crash them, they are expensive to repair. That all pales into insignificance when you enjoy it. I could bleat on about how expensive this bike's been to repair. I could moan for hours about how much this thing's cost me and how much money it owes me. Riding a superbike, especially this one, means the world to me. I can't speak for other people, nor am I going to. But for me, riding this bike, riding a Ducati, is literally my thing. And yeah, I am a complete Ducati fanboy, and I probably will be until something major happens, like they completely change their styling or whatever. But you know, generally speaking, I think I'm always going to have a Ducati at some point, whether it's another superbike, whether it's a super naked like a Monster or a Street Fighter or whatever, or even the new V4 Street Fighter, which I've already done a video on, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out. I mean, I've only done one other bike review so far on the channel, and that was the Suzuki GSX-R 1000, which again I'll leave a link to either in the description or at the end of the video. And in all fairness, so far that's been the only other bike to put a smile on my face while riding it. But from what I have ridden, I've obviously had all my Ducatis, plus I've had an Aprilia RS3000 and an RS125. I've also had a Kawasaki ZX-7R. I've had a Suzuki SV650. I've ridden a pre-Big Bang R1 from 2006-7, I think it was. I've also ridden two Big Bang R1s, the older shape. I've also ridden a 2013 BMW S1000RR. What else have I ridden? Honda Fireblade SP. Now, of all those bikes that I've just mentioned, the one that promised the most and actually gave the least was the Honda Fireblade SP. It was a good bike to ride. I can't knock it for that. But for everything that it had on it, it had, you know, the HRC colour scheme. It had the Akaprovic full MotoGP exhaust system. It had all the bells and whistles and OLEDs front and back. It promised so much and delivered so little. I think it was just lacking a little bit. I'm not saying it's a bad bike, because it's not. But the bikes that I was really surprised by were the two Big Bang R1s, if I'm honest. And I really did enjoy them. Oh, pardon me. So, having a superbike as your main form of transport? No, it's not the most ideal. It really isn't. But it's by no means the worst. Given the choice between this and a moped, naturally I'm going to choose this every fucking time. It's no surprise to people that know me, that follow the channel, that given the chance of riding another sports bike, doesn't really matter what it is, I am there. I am all over it. But for now, that's about all I've got time for, guys. So with that, as always, look after yourselves, be good, be safe, be happy, and as always, adios.
You ready?